Hey, howdy! I'm in a really good mood today. I'm not entirely sure why, I mainly blame the weather. But the dailies today are Cyan Relic World and Crimson Labyrinth. And no, that's not a place I know. Unfortunate. But that's easy. That's also pretty easy, because negative space I can just get to through ornamental planes. So heck yeah, I'm fine with an easier day. A more relaxed day while I just talk about random things. After a certain point, this is basically a podcast, huh? I don't think I make for a very engaging host, though. Oh, right. So it was formerly Gray Cyan World, and it was changed to Cyan Relic, or Gray Cyan World, Gray Relic World, and it was changed to Cyan Relic World. Silly. This is the area that used to be accessible from the Nexus if you had glasses on. Weird thing. It's a cool area. Here's negative space. I actually forget where I'm going, but I have a gut feeling that it's this way. Nope, wrong way. Oh, crap, right, it was top right. What's this about stained glass Cosmo? Huh. Oh, this is one of these. It's from Nazca Valley. Cute. When you slide using the penguin effect, the screen will slightly flash white when it tints color. This is a bug. Epilepsy warning. That is a very menacing trivia question. That is a very menacing trivia. Brilliant. Now, where do I want to go? I kind of want to... I don't even know. It's like pick a direction and travel. And wherever I end up, I end up. Course registration was yesterday, and I kind of nailed it. Usually, course registration is a nightmare because, anyone who's in college knows exactly why, but to the uninitiated, the trouble with course registration is that everything is online. And as much as I would like to just get to the line early, skip the line, and then not have to worry about it, we live in the age of computers, where everything is firmly mandated by an automated schedule, and you can't get there early. And if you're not careful and you get there exactly on time, the server will get overloaded and you'll get booted out. So usually it's a frantic, it's a complete fracas of like, oh god, it crashed, the website crashed, I gotta get back in. Oh no, I didn't get the class that I wanted. Oh no, I gotta look at the server, I gotta look at the list of classes, are there any that interest me, are there any that are good for my major? And it just keeps going like that, until you eventually find classes that you're somewhat happy with. But with this time, I really just picked 4 classes, got all of them immediately, and I was happy. Just ignore the fact that I'm a senior so I get first pick. Like, that's not important. But course registration has led me to a lot of very funny things. Like, one time in particular, I don't even remember what year it was. There was one class in particular that there was one class that I was missing out of the 4. And for context, you absolutely need 4 classes. If you only have 3 classes, you're considered a part-time student, and that's not a good thing. But I was panicking, like, oh god, I need a 4th, where can I get a 4th class? And I found a class that was the cultural history of the American region. And I thought, you know what? Okay. I'm fine with dealing with a human geography class. It'll work out. I signed up for it, and then after the sign-up period was over, I realized that I misread it. That did not say region. That said religion. So I accidentally signed up for a theology class. And to be fair, the professor was really chill, and I actually quite liked the class despite having no interest in organized religion. Because I've been non-practicing basically my whole life. I think at one point my grandmother tried to make me. I just got a freaking text that said, "This is definitely a wrong number." Miss Jenny, we can arrange a conference call tomorrow to discuss contract details. Well, I ain't Miss Jenny. I do feel bad to the person that may or may not have sent out the wrong contact information. But the class was surprisingly chill. I mean, bold statement to make on the internet. I'm not practicing. I also don't really believe in a higher power. But it's the kind of thing, like, if I had good evidence, honestly, I'd be willing to believe it. It's not a hard and fast, like, I'm an atheist. I believe these things and I believe them strongly. Nah. I could have my mind changed pretty easily. Not to mention, atheism has kind of a bad name, and I can only blame Reddit for that. Because over time, atheism has attracted the sort of, what's the word for it? Self-righteous people. So calling yourself an atheist, even if you actually are one, is like saying that you think you're better than everyone else, and you think you're better than people that practice religion. I don't know the best word for it. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's a similar sort of vibe as being a moderate and telling people that you're a moderate in politics. I think, yeah, Grave lets me see the people. That, on paper, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a moderate. Heck, I'm a moderate. But the trouble... Oh, dang it, the Dream Mexico event already happened. The trouble is that there's certain people on either side that will abuse what it means to be a moderate and apply it to themselves when they are definitely not moderate and taint the description. And then from then on, anyone who says they're a moderate gets laughed out of the room because, yeah, hooray, you are definitely a moderate. What are your thoughts on these polarizing topics? I think I'm always going to sound a little bit bitter when I'm talking about Reddit, because Reddit is very flawed. Because there's this sense of... what's the word for it? There's a sense of learned helplessness a lot of the time with Reddit. That there's no real action towards a lot of the less desirable people in the communities, because it's like, oh, there's always going to be people like that in the community. And because of that, no one ever tries to change things, because it's like, oh, it's a Reddit. Reddit's always going to have these kinds of people. Reddit's always going to have these jokes that make you uncomfortable. That's just how Reddit is. It's that sort of almost like frat boy culture. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it's what it does feel like that at times. It's like, yeah, it's wrong, but a bunch of people do it, so that makes it okay, I guess. The other issue with Reddit is that it's a big fat echo chamber, and I don't need to... I didn't even need to say that. That's one of the main things that people think of when they think about Reddit. Now, personally, I hate it. I hate echo chambers. I've never been one for social media for this exact reason. Just having all opinions but the strongest being pushed out of the room in favor of constantly parroting the same responses over and over. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for conversations. I don't really want to go to school. It's unhealthy for conversations. It's unhealthy for courses of action. It leads to bad trains of thought. It leads to logical fallacies. It's generally just not healthy at all. Twitter has a almost identical problem. And it is funny to me on a surface level that I'm comparing Reddit and Twitter, but they are very, very similar when you think about the effect that they have on the people that partake. I'm going back. I'm not going to get lost there. That tree looks identical to all the trees around it. But Reddit and Twitter are both sort of cut from the same cloth of, what if I only saw the things that I wanted to see? Would I be a happier person? And I feel like Twitter has taught us that the answer is no. It's the utopia problem. If you have a system that only shows you the things that you want to see and are perfectly attuned to your tastes, you'll just find other things to get upset by. Or in Twitter's case, the system will become corrupted by people who want to make a cheap buck. And intentionally feed people into loops of things that make them angry or make them really righteous, and feed them into wanting to see the same things over and over and over again. And it's damaging. It's genuinely very dangerous to society, I feel. It's a similar sort of problem as mainstream TV shows and like media channels. It's a very similar issue. Because the people who run the channel don't care about whether or not what they're saying is accurate, at least for a select few. Those select few also happen to be the largest ones, and their main priority is making money. And the way that they make money is to get people to come back, and the way they get people to come back is to piss them off. So that is what they do. They keep telling half-truths and stories that are designed to incite anger and incite prejudice in order to get people to come back for another dose. Continuing on like this, seemingly forever. There's no end goal for a TV channel. There is no season finale to Fox News. The season finale is if they were to ever be acquired by a different company, or a larger company. But I don't foresee Fox News being put in that situation for a long time. Because the older generation is very fond of it, and it corrupts them to the point that they only trust the things that they see on Fox News. So in that regard, Fox News is a captive audience. Also, hello. Can I go in here? I can. What the heck do I do from here? Weird. Oh, I thought that thing was about to kill me. Okay. He was just very excited. But I try my damnedest to stay off of social media because of that. And I used to be on Reddit. I used to engage in smaller communities and more niche game subreddits. But as time went on, I started to realize that even that was so inherently flawed. Because on paper, Reddit is a solution to that kind of a problem, because there's very little monetary gain from moderating a subreddit. Barring some very, very specific individuals who have such a wide mirth of... Hang on, can I even go in here? I think this is a one-way entrance. That's a shame. On paper, it seems like the solution, because, after all, there's no monetary gain to Reddit unless you are a very specific set of people who have things to gain from things like astroturfing on the site. Well, in practice, there's also the issue of psychology. That when you're in charge of something, it makes you feel good. When you're able to influence a whole mirth of people just by posting something to Reddit and seeing what it does, that feels powerful. That feels very, very powerful. And it's easy to lose yourself to that fantasy. So you end up with people who go on complete power trips just because they feel like it. There's no complex reason. There's no monetary reason. It's just an issue of self-entitlement. and an inflated sense of self-worth, and that's all it is. And it ends up being just as dangerous. Because instead of people being led in circles and being told the same half-truths for the sake of monetary gain, it almost turns into a cult following of sorts. Especially, and this varies from subreddit to subreddit. There are some that manage this balance of power perfectly normally. But there are some that abuse this power, and it's very damaging. To give you an example, there was a case where one moderator was through some mishap / misuse of power, was given jurisdiction over a large number of subreddits all at the same time. And because of this, they were able to exact certain agendas upon Reddit. I say this because they are the same person who is the moderator of r/AOC and r/murdered by AOC. Two subreddits with very, very similar functions. And because of this, they were able to, at least on Reddit alone, create a grassroots campaign of their own for a candidate. Now, imagine that's already a bit questionable. I personally don't like AOC as a candidate. I can see her strengths, I can see why people would like her as a candidate. I personally don't agree. Imagine for a moment if there was something more serious to come out of that, like an attempt at grifting people for money. Something else that has already happened before. See r/Wall Street bets, and I'm not talking about the GameStop thing. There was a different incident where one of the moderators tried to use the subreddit to make, I believe it was to make merchandise. I don't remember the exact story. But they took over the subreddit and then used it as a platform for financial gain. Now, imagine if there was someone who wasn't stupid enough to do it by themselves. Oh, hello, negative space. Imagine if there was someone who wasn't stupid enough to just do it themselves and boot out all of the other moderators, and instead conspired with other people to do that. That could cause a lot of damage. Let's go to Rocky Cavern, actually. Let's just go in the same direction we were going when we were going the wrong way. Now, granted, Reddit is not all bad news. Reddit still has the same use case as Stack Exchange, where there are so many different conversations on niche topics that if you need an answer, you're probably going to get it from either Reddit or Stack Exchange. Just the way the ball rolls. But I still feel that the site has a responsibility to make sure that the issues present within their site are kept in check. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Usually, I try my best not to be super opinionated, but Reddit is one of the few things where I have to sit down and be like, okay. I think I've been down this path before, but I don't remember where it leads. The pagoda. Also, I finally learned what Omurice actually is. And I'll have to put up a picture after I'm done. I'll leave like a minute or two after to show it off, because it's not what I expected. I don't know why I expected it to be what I thought it would be, but I guess it's just because it had the word rice in the name. I assumed that it would be a rice-based dish, but no. Omurice is a Japanese word, so I don't know where I was getting that idea from. Who's this fine gentleman? I think I'm starting to remember this place, but I don't remember where it ends up. It might be Indigo Pathway, but I think there's something after that. Oh, shoot! Someone got gallery of me! That is a very rare event. Ah, streetlight garden. This is a bit of a small thing, but did anyone when they were younger think that for the song Don't Stop Believin', they were saying streetlights, comma, people, and not streetlight people, yeah, and not streetlight people as one full phrase? I think this is a common, I think this might be a common thing. Well, this certainly is a streetlight garden. I think I'll stop here, but before I do, I said I was going to show off pictures of Omurice, so give me just a second. There we are. And you can still hear the trumpet in the background. So it's like it actually does have rice in it, or rice in the dish. But it almost reminds me of something Tex-Mex. It's an omelet with, I think that's either ketchup or some sort of other sauce. But it's omelet, rice, and sauce. Kind of reminds me of an enchilada. That looks freaking good. That looks really good. Maybe it's just because I've had nothing but coffee shop food for the past like semester. But this looks really good to me. Maybe I'll try and make some when I get back home. But anyway, that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.